everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today we're going to be talking about Insidious, the Red Door, the fifth film in the Insidious franchise. And this time, the film was directed by Patrick Wilson, who also stars in this film as Josh Lambert. It was written by Scott Teems, and the story was actually done by Scott Teems and Lee Winnell. Lee Winnell and James Wan, who really were the creators of the first three Insidious films, get producing credits on it, but they don't really have as much involvement as they did in the previous films. And unlike the last two previous films, Insidious Chapter 3 and Insidious The Last Key, Lynn Shane is Elise. She was the real breakout star of the entire franchise, so she was really the main protagonist of the last two films, but this time, the film is a direct sequel to Insidious Chapter 2, and we're coming back to the Lambert family, you know, dealing with Josh Lambert and Dalton Lambert, and we bring back Rose Byrne's character as well, who is the mother, the patriarch, really, of the family. And this film takes place 9 years later after Insidious Chapter 2. Dalton's going to college. As we saw at the very end of Insidious Chapter 2, both Josh and Dalton had their memories repressed from what happened in the events of the first two films, so they have no recollection of what happened at all. They just remember that Dalton went into a coma and that he recovered, but they don't really have any remembrance of that entire year. But now Patrick Wilson's character is starting to feel a little bit foggy. You know, he's recently divorced from Rose Byrne's character. Their marriage just couldn't recover from what happened, and Rose Byrne can't talk to Patrick Wilson about what exactly happened, so, you know, it kind of had a strain on their marriage. But now Dalton's going to college, and even though his relationship with Dalton is also very strained, he wants to take him. But unfortunately, as he gets to college, both him and Josh's world just come crashing down on them, and now it's time to return to the further. And I don't want to spoil too much about this movie, because I was actually very impressed with this movie. I actually think this was probably the second best Insidious film that I have ever seen. You know, the first Insidious film was actually probably a modern horror classic. I thought James Wan did a great job with that movie. It has a very distinct style to it. It also features one of the greatest jump scares in film history. And Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne are both very reliable stars. Underrated as far as actors go. Patrick Wilson is always very solid, obviously has a great working relationship with James Wan. And Rose Byrne is also another one who really ended up going into comedy with the Neighbors films. And she's very funny, but she could also do dramatic roles. She could really do it all. She's a great actress. You know, she doesn't have a very big role in this movie, actually. This movie is really dealing with a father-son storyline, you know, with Patrick Wilson's Josh and Ty Simpkins' Dalton, who actually returns from the first two films and also, you know, was the kid from Iron Man 3. And he also appeared in the Jurassic World movies. So it was really cool to get him back, and it's really about their relationship. And the father-son aspect of this movie, I absolutely loved. You know, that stuff actually really got to me. I didn't expect the emotions of this movie to be there. I didn't expect there to be this much heart. You know, I thought I was going to see a regular supernatural horror film, but what I actually cared about most were Dalton and Josh. I really loved that aspect of this film, and I think that's the best part of this film. Now, as far as the horror elements go, it really is just a regular, straightforward horror film. It's got the horror tropes that you know. They kind of mess around with the rules that they established in previous films with the further, so that's something to be expected from any horror sequel. They don't always follow the same pattern that they had followed with the previous films. We always got to add a new layer to it, a new wrinkle, and this film is no different than that. It has a bunch of jump scares, but I wouldn't say they're cheap jump scares. They definitely build the tension to them. It does fall into similar horror tropes that many horror films feel like that could feel generic, but I think what separates this one a little bit is the heart and the way that Patrick Wilson's character is played, because Patrick Wilson does a fantastic job with that. Rose Byrne does a fantastic job in this film. I didn't love Ty Simpkins, though, as Dalton. I didn't feel like he was the best actor, and I get you want to bring back the previous performer who did it as a kid, but he really doesn't portray the emotion as well as I had hoped he would. You know, his character really just kind of comes off as cold, lonely, and doesn't really express too much emotion, which is why I think that they brought in Sinclair Daniel, who is at the beginning of this movie is his college roommate, and they end up forming a great bond and relationship, and I love their dynamic as well. But she is such a great actress. She does a good job in this movie. She's really like the comic relief. She's really bringing a lot of energy to really work with Dalton, because Dalton's character really he's really one note, and I feel like that does hurt the film overall, because he doesn't portray emotion as well as everybody else in the film who's really around him. So I feel like that does hold it back, and I get what they're going for. You know, this guy's been through a lot, but I really would have liked a little bit more emotion coming out of him. But luckily enough, that father-son storyline does stick the landing. I really do like how this movie ended. I think it built up to a great third act. The third act of this movie, I think, is the best part, and I really think we get some revelations in the story. I think it's actually a pretty well-written screenplay. Is it flawless? Absolutely not. It's got some holes in there, but I think for what I was expecting this movie to be, I really didn't have that high expectations because I didn't really love the last two movies. I thought they were good. I feel like the entire Insidious franchise has been very solid throughout, but I didn't feel like the last two movies really had the same connection as the first two movies. I thought that Insidious Chapter 1 is a modern horror classic, Insidious Chapter 2 is a good follow-up sequel, and then the last two, they're just alright. But this one, it feels like kind of a return to form, and it feels like probably the second best Insidious film. That could also be recently biased talking, but I did watch the first two Insidious films before I watched this one, and I really think that if you are a fan of the Insidious franchise, you are going to have a lot more fun than if somebody is just going into this brand new looking to see a horror film this week. And I think if you have an investment in the franchise, you've enjoyed the franchise so far, I think you're going to have a great time at the theaters. I saw this in a packed house. Everyone seemed like they had a good time. Everyone I talked to seemed like they enjoyed the film. So I really think that you will as well. So if I was going to give this film a score of 1 to 10, I would give it a pretty solid 7.5 out of 10. No harm, no foul. I think it's an enjoyable trip to the movies, and with all these summer blockbusters out, who doesn't enjoy going to the movies in the summer and seeing a good horror film? It's great counter programming, and with the budgets ballooning to what they are right now, with movies like Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny having a budget of $295 million, $200 million for The Flash, $340 million for Fast X, this movie only has a budget of $16 million, so I'm sure that the studio, Blumhouse, will be pretty happy with this one. I'm sure that they'll recoup their money. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the end of the Insidious franchise, but if it is, I think they're going out on a bang, and I'm really enjoyed my time watching this movie in the theaters. Now, guys, it's also Friday, and that means it's time for our digital code giveaway. But we also hit 2,000 subscribers, and that means we're going to have our 2,000 subscribers giveaway. And as promised, once we hit 2,000 subscribers, we were going to give away a copy of Skinamarink on Blu-ray. This copy right here with the slipcover on it. So if you would like to enter that giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel and just let me know in the comment section below that you want to enter the giveaway. But we also do a digital code giveaway as well. So basically what we're going to do is on Monday, we'll have 2 wheels for the people who want to enter into the 2,000 subscribers giveaway. For Skinamarink, that'll be on 1 wheel, and then our 2 regular winners who enter into the digital code giveaway, we'll pick those names on that wheel. So we'll spin that wheel 3 times on Monday, 2 separate wheels, and you can enter into both of them. So if you want to grab this Blu-ray and you want to enter that one, feel free. If you want to enter the digital code giveaway, feel free. You can enter into them both. You only have to answer one of these questions to enter into the digital code giveaway. And I wanted to ask you guys, I figured we're talking horror. I want to know what your favorite supernatural horror film of all time. Those are movies like The Exorcist, Poltergeist, Insidious. You know, James Wan loves to play around with this with the Conjuring movies. So what is your favorite supernatural horror film? And then, you know, I really love movie theaters. I love going to the movies. I feel like that's always been my church. That's my favorite place to go in the entire world. I wanted to know, what is the best movie that you guys saw in theaters? So let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite supernatural horror film? Or what is your favorite movie that you have ever seen in theaters? And again, all you have to do is just let me know if you want to enter into the 2,000 subscribers giveaway. Just say, hey, enter me in the giveaway. You know, you can all put it. You can just put your answers to the digital code giveaway and that in the same comment. But I will separate it. I'll organize it. And just don't forget to come back to Monday's video, which will be the Mission Impossible Fallout 4K review. That's when we're going to spin these magic wheels and see who our lucky winners are. And since we hit 2,000 subscribers, and I just want to thank every single one of you for being a fan of Let's Talk, supporting me on this journey. If you've been with us since the beginning when it was me and Matt, I really want to just let you guys all know I appreciate it so much. We never expected to even hit this. We really put all of our money into this basket. We really wanted this to be our dream. Obviously, Matt's left since we started, but I'm still going. You know, we got Faith here on the channel. We do the show on Thursdays with Shamrock Balls, and I really do appreciate every one of you for being a subscriber to Let's Talk, supporting me on this journey, and I really do hope that you guys are enjoying the reviews and all the shows we do here on the channel, because it absolutely means the world to me to keep doing these reviews and stuff for you guys, because I just enjoy interacting with you guys in the comments section. That's what makes this Friday video always so special, is that not only do I get plenty of movie recommendations, but I feel like we're forming a nice little community here where, for the most part, everyone seems like a really cool person. You know, in the world we live in, we always just hear about the negatives, but we have a lot of positivity here on the channel, and I really do appreciate that, because that's exactly what I was going for. You know, I don't want to have a channel that's just super negative. I know that draws more views, but I'm just mostly a positive person, a happy person, and I really appreciate seeing everybody in here where we just talk about our favorite thing in the world, movies. So anyway, guys, before I keep rambling on, enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and again, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, go out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and we'll be seeing you around.